Hi, hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Honest Conversations with Chinaza Favour. Mr. Lucky Nathan, I saw your greetings even before I came on live. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is another episode of this talk show. This is the 22nd episode of this talk show. And I'm so excited, super excited actually to have this conversation with you. So, before we get started, take this link and share with your friends, share with your enemies, as we always do. Get everyone that you need to join this conversation to be here. You don't want them to be missing out. Why? Because tonight's conversation is one that we really need to talk about. It's one that has been on the sidelines for a long time. Okay, it's on the front lines, of course, but it's only a part of the conversation that is always had. And in life, nothing is ever absolute. There are always two sides to a coin. You can't just say that something is bad. I'm sure that there are good elements to virtually everything, and even the people that we say are bad, they have their good qualities too. Yeah, if we actually look deeply, we'll see that they have some good qualities that we can emulate and learn from. So, good evening, everyone. I see that two persons have joined. Thanks for being here. Please invite your friends and your families. I am on to Facebook right now to get everyone to join. All right, five persons have joined. Thank you. Keep on coming. If this is the first time of joining this conversation, please let me know. Type it in the comments, okay? So I can give you a shout out. Let me know where you're joining me from. And if it's your first time, please let me know too, okay? So that I can give you your first timers, Zobo and Puff Puff. It seems like Emanuela, our head of welfare department, is not around today. So let me know if it's your first time. You have first timers, Zobo and Puff Puff from us. All right. So let me know where you're watching me from. I can't see your comments. I don't know if that's a problem from my end, but please drop your comment, okay? So that I can see that you're here. Tonight we have a wonderful conversation to have, a very wonderful topic to discuss, and that is the topic of fear. Fear. Is fear your enemy or is fear your friend? Is fear your enemy or is it a friend? Is it a negative emotion or is it a positive emotion? Is it something good or is it something bad? Hello, Angel Leonard. I see that you're here. Mr. Lucky Nathan is joining from Ajao Estate, Lagos, Nigeria. Nice to know. Angelina says, I'm early and I've missed you. Oh, I've missed you too. It's been 7 days, right? I always look forward to having these conversations with you guys. It's just I call it my safe space, my safe place, my sacred place where I just come on to talk and share my thoughts and get to read from you as well. You came early, really. So thank you for being here. Have you shared this video? Have you invited your friends? Remember, if your exes are not doing well, you have to want them to do well, right? So you have to share this video to them. Your exes, your exes, your village people, even your grannies, everyone has to join. Angel says, my hairstyle is really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Virginia says, good evening, ma'am. It feels good to be here again. I'm watching from Abuja. Oh, wow. Amazing. Nice to know. Watching from Abuja. Hello, Virginia. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. So, in 5 minutes, I mean, once our time is 5 minutes, we are going to get started. All right. I'm just trying to get my Facebook people, my Telegram people, my WhatsApp, my Instagram, everyone to join this session. All right. So let me know how has your day been? How and yeah, it's a beautiful month. Happy September to you. Happy September. To you, I pray that this wonderful month is going to be the very best that you have had this year yet, right? You're not going to know a better last month, like August. You won't say that August was better or that July was better. No, you only keep saying that, this month was actually better than last month. And that is what you continue to say until the year runs out and we get into 2023. Oh my God. Oh my God, the prospect is just amazing. All right, so we have fear to discuss. Fear. So let me know before we go on, before I start sharing my thoughts, let me know what do you, how do you describe fear? What would you say is fear? What is fear to you? And what is your opinion? Is fear good or is it bad? Um, is it a positive emotion or is it a negative emotion? Please let me know, okay? I want to read from you. Remember, this is a conversation. Yeah, even though I do majority of the talking, but I want to read from you. Mr. Michael Kevin TV, thank you for being here. Good evening. So let me know, what is fear to you? I know that you're already typing. Let me know, what is fear to you? How would you describe fear? And is it a good, let me not say good, is it a positive or a negative emotion? I know that um, we have heard too much of, don't allow fear to keep you down, don't do this, don't conquer your fears, don't even allow fear in your circle and all that. So let me know, is fear a positive emotion or is fear a negative emotion? But before you answer that, let me know, how would you describe fear? Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to type in your responses. Hello, Mr. Uzezi. I hope I got that right. You're watching from Bayelsa. Oh, wow. Thanks for joining. All right. It's good to have you here. Angelina says, personally, I'll say fear is a negative emotion that reveals skepticism as regards a particular viewpoint. Okay. Okay, that's nice. Mr. Lucky Nathan says, fear is anticipation of negative feelings. Okay. Hmm. Differing views here, I must say. Mr. Clever Chidera says, hi, Clever. Says, good evening, ma. It's always a blessing to be here. I can't afford to miss this conversation. I know, right? Thanks for being here. Mr. Gozeo Demba says, fear is a feeling of foreboding. Hmm. I don't want to assume that everyone here knows what foreboding is. So can you please let us know what foreboding is? I mean, in very simple terms. My conversations are always very, very simple, are more easily understood because I use very plain English, right? So please let me know, what is foreboding so that the rest of us can learn. Me, I'm not a grammar woman. Michael Kevin TV says this is really going to help a lot of persons deal with fear. Fear is deadly, I must say. Hmm. We shall see. Mr. Lucky Nathan says it could be both, depending on which perspective you're looking at it. Okay. Anthony Nathan, okay, Anthony Esther says, watching from Ogun State. It's good to have you here. All right, thank you very much for um, bringing up or sharing your perspective and your definition of fear. Thank you very much. So, okay, Mr. Gozel Odemba says, foreboding, a feeling that something bad will happen. Apprehension. Okay, that makes sense. I think more people are able to understand. So let me impute this definition into your previous definition, okay? So you said fear is a feeling that something bad will happen, a state of apprehension, being apprehensive. Okay, I get that. So is fear a positive emotion or is it a negative emotion? I really, really want to know what your take is on this before I share mine. If you say it's a positive emotion, why do you say so? And if you say it's a negative emotion, why do you say so? For some reason, this is a very This is going to be a very interactive class. We're going to be hearing from each other a lot. Okay? So why do you say that fear is a negative emotion if that is your take? And why do you say that it is a positive emotion if it is your take? Anthony Esther says fear is like alarm. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Virginia says, to me, fear is more like an obstacle because it hinders me from doing things that I want to do. It is a negative emotion for me. Hmm. Okay. Um, Gakaho Uzezi says, fear is the negative feeling of being afraid that something or someone could hurt you. Okay, so Mr. Ozeze, is it a negative emotion? Is it bad to be fearful? Or is it good to be fearful? Is it okay to be fearful? Is it a positive emotion or is it a negative one? So Angel Leonard says, I would say fear is a negative emotion because it has kept so many people back from doing the things they've always wanted to do. Okay, I totally agree with all of your viewpoints, every single one of your viewpoints. I totally agree with all of them because there's something that I've learned in life. It is that you have to learn to look at things from people's perspectives. I mean, yours cannot be absolute. There's nothing that is absolute. Even what you think you are so sure about, it can't be absolute. When you begin to look at it from people's perspectives, you begin to see different sides to it. I mean, no story is ever um, what it is, what you are told. There are different sides to stories. And one of the things that I've learned also in my journey through life is that life is not black and white. I keep saying this, but unfortunately, a lot of people still think that life is black and white. You know, there are gray areas in between, not just gray areas. You have the extreme, which is black, and you have another extreme, which is white. And in between those extremes, we have um, different colors. All the colors you can think of are there. And then there is gray. So it would be wrong to call something to say that this is what something is. There are different sides to it. There, I mean, majority of the things that we know has different sides to it. So we'll see about this. I have my reservations, which I'm going to share with you, and hopefully it's going to help a lot of people here to make better decisions and live more fully. All right. So Anthony Esther says fear is like an alarm when not taken care of. It results into disaster. Hmm, okay. Gustav Dunbar says fear is a negative emotion, but it may also be a source of motivation. For example, the fear of becoming poor can motivate someone to work hard. Okay, nice take. Angelina says another viewpoint I also have is that fear is a neutral emotion, depending on how and where we choose to channel it. Hmm. You guys are beginning to come out of your shells. You are beginning to come out of your shells. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Don't mind that feedback. Amazing. I'm just trying to copy this link. I just got caught up in the conversation that I didn't even remember to invite my people to join this conversation. All right, just 1 second. Okay, let me do that. Let me tell them that we are live before some persons come and eat me up. But you did not tell us that you are alive. And then I now missed the conversation. I was planning and planning, but I slept. I did not see the alert or alarm that you were alive. So let me save myself that. We are live. All right. Okay. Almost done. And by the way, while you wait, please get your people to join. You can't be having this conversation alone. Hmm? I mean, I know it's natural for people to want to hide good things. I know this is too good to be true. I know, but don't keep it to yourself. like the video and share with your friends, okay? If you know someone that is especially fearful, you might need them to watch this. You might really need them to join this conversation, okay? It's going to help them, I hope, as God gives me the grace to share what I've been able to learn about this. Okay. All right. So, what is fear? What is my own take on fear? Fear is, for me, fear is a natural instinct. Okay. Fear is just like hunger. Fear is just like the desire for sex. Fear is just like the need to sleep, right? Fear is just like any natural instinct that humans have. Someone said, okay, Angel Leonard says that she sees it as a neutral emotion, and that is how I see it. Fear is going to be a positive emotion or a negative emotion depending on how you view it, your perspective, and how you react to it. Fear depends, your understanding and your approach to fear depends on your perspective, on your outlook. So, fear is that instinct that tells you that something might be wrong. Fear is that instinct that shows you where your attention should be. I put out an article some time ago on Facebook and I discussed pain extensively on that post. And I told them that pain, people, we don't want pain. We don't want to feel pain. We pray that pain be far from us. But is pain really bad? Is it really bad that we feel pain? And the answer is no, because pain can point you to something that is wrong. Pain can be a pointer to something that you need to pay attention to. Yes, pain can be a pointer to what you should be paying attention to. So imagine you don't have the ability to feel pain. What it means is that even when you walk into fire and your body is actually burning, you don't feel pain. You see your body, that you see this hand that it is getting burnt, but you don't feel any pain. You might dislocate an ankle if you're an athlete and you dislocate an ankle, you will not even be able to feel pain, and that um, injured area gets infected and continues getting bad. But because you don't feel pain, you can't know that something is wrong. That is the same way fear is. Fear is not an absolute emotion that you would put uh, a stamp to and say it is bad or it is wrong or it is negative or it is positive. It depends on the situation, your perspective, and your understanding of life and how you react to it. It depends on one, the situation, it depends on two, your perspective, and three, your reactions. Because many times we are confronted with uh, 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 experiences that we are not prepared for. But it's not really those experiences that form us, it is our responses. So you are responsible for not just your words and your actions, you are responsible for your reactions too. Please write that down. You're not responsible for just your words, your actions, your inactions. You are also very much responsible for your reactions. So it is natural. It is natural to feel pain. It is natural to feel fearful, to be fearful, to experience fear, to have fear, to be afraid. It is natural. It is not demonic. It is not weakness to be fearful. It is not anything bad to be fearful. But it is how you translate that fear. It is how you react to that fear that determines what you're going to call it, what it's going to be to you. So, how is fear your friend? I've established that it is a natural instinct. It is a natural instinct that protects us. Fear simply protects us. If you have ever been burnt by fire and you see fire again, you are going to be afraid of going close to it because you don't want to get burnt again. So that fear is trying to protect you from getting burnt again. Is this making sense to anybody? Fear is supposed to protect you. Fear is supposed to keep you safe. Fear is supposed to keep you it's supposed to keep you alive. Let me use that word. Fear is that emotion, that instinct that's supposed to keep you alive. So once it senses danger, phew, you're afraid and you take flight. Whatever you see that does not feel comfortable to you, you don't even go in. You are afraid of certain things, and it's normal, but how do you react to that fear? So last month, I finally, after a very long time, entered a roller coaster. Yes, a roller coaster. Very tall, very long. I entered a roller coaster and one of the fastest in the world, actually. Before I entered the roller coaster, I told myself, Chinaza, now is the time for you to practice what you preach to your followers. I'm going to see how you're going to react to this because I'm very much afraid of heights. I'm very much afraid of heights. I'm afraid of what I don't expect coming at me. So me getting on a roller coaster was kind of me confronting that fear of heights. So when I got on the roller coaster, I told myself, okay, Chinaza, you are in this now. You are on this. You either enjoy it or you mess it up. So I decided I was going to enjoy it. Immediately it started. It was as if my spirit left my body. But for the first few seconds, I kept my eyes closed, and because I could not see what was coming, I could not anticipate any turn, I could not see if we were going to turn this way or that way, or if we we're going to go high or not. My eyes were closed to that fear of heights. I was even more fearful. It was as if I was about to die. But after some time, I said I was going to open my eyes. I decided to open my eyes, and it changed everything for me. Because it was more like I had to come face to face with whatever it was that I was afraid of. And being able to keep my eyes open to see the direction the roller coaster was going, to see, oh, we're going to go high. So I anticipated going high. Oh, we're going to take this turn. I prepared my mind immediately, even though it was really fast, but I could easily prepare my mind for what was coming. Do you understand? And it was just amazing when it was time to get down as quickly as possible. I'll take a deep breath and the setting as a just calm down, you're going to enjoy this. And I actually did enjoy it. If ask me to go back, I would gladly go back. But there are people on that roller coaster who said they would never try this in their lives again. They kept their eyes on majority. If you take poll, majority of them kept their eyes closed. Majority of them kept their eyes closed. So it was natural, it was normal for them to not want to experience it again. So I kept my eyes closed from that fear. I was trying to deny it. I was trying to not to see it or not to confront it or to come face to face with it. But the moment I opened my eyes, everything changed for me. So fear wants to protect you. Fear wants to keep you safe. But here is a twist. We are all living, right? We are all living this life. We are all alive right now. Angelina says, I'll definitely go back with you. Okay. All right. So we are all here on earth, and The truth is, life is going to kill us. Life is going to, not none of us here is going to get out of this life alive. None of us is going to get out of this thing called life alive. We are all going to die. And the thing is, nobody knows when they're going to die. I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. We don't want to take risks because we are afraid. The reason people don't take risks is because they are afraid. The reason people don't go for certain things is because they are afraid. The reason people shut some kinds of persons off from their lives is because they are afraid of being hurt again. They are afraid of experiencing that betrayal, or they're afraid of being cheated upon again. I mean, there are several reasons you would be afraid. Again, I said fear is there to protect you. It is there to protect you. So if you want to live a full life, if you want to live a large life, you have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to come face to face with your fears. You have to be willing to make fear your friend. But before we get to fear being your friend, how does fear become your enemy? How is fear your enemy? So, like I said before, fear is a natural instinct, it's a neutral emotion. But fear, because it wants to keep you safe, I already mentioned that, it will not want you to go for things that it terms risky, especially based on what you've experienced before. It wouldn't want a repetition of a painful experience. It would. So you want to get into a new relationship, but you are afraid of the unknown. I mean, what if this guy cheats on me? What if she messes up like my previous partner? You don't even know. You don't want to take that risk. You don't want to take that chance. But the truth is, every day you wake up and you leave your house, you're taking risks. But we don't think of it in that direction. We don't think of it in that manner. Every day you leave your house is a risk that you're taking. In that house you are, how sure are you that this building is not going to, how sure am I that this building is not going to collapse and kill me here? How sure am I when I leave the house in the morning that I'm going to come back? What if I have an accident on the road? Even if your car is in perfect condition, how sure are you that you're going to come back safely? You don't know the drivers you're going to be meeting on the road. But you still have the faith that you're going to go and come back. We take risks every day, but those ones that we call risks, the bigger ones that might not even kill us, we pay so much attention to them. But the ones which put our lives at risk for real, we don't even pay attention to them. What an irony. What an irony. So fear, you want to embark on a new project, you want to take a leap, but fear is telling you, this place you are is really high, it's really, really high. This cliff that you are, this cliff of the mountain, you know what a cliff is? So this is a mountain, and you know that point where you can, where it's like the mountain ended and there's nothing here, you can jump off this part. This is the cliff of the mountain. So this is where you are, and you want to take a leap. There's another mountain here that you want to take a leap onto, but your fear is trying to keep you safe. Maybe you failed before, maybe you've tried a project before and it failed, and you want to try again, but your fear of failure based on your previous experience is stopping you from taking that leap. Are you really sure you want to do this? You might break your neck, or you might even die. If it's a business idea, fear is telling you, are you really sure that you want to do this? Remember what happened, and now you're even trying to take a bigger risk. What if you lose it all? Fear wants to keep you in your comfort zone. Exactly. Fear is that feeling that fear is the feeling that leaving your comfort zone would destroy you. Exactly. You are safest in your comfort zone. You are safest in your comfort zone. You are You're, I mean, nothing bothers you in your comfort zone. Brother Wilson says it's a demonstration for me. Good evening, Brother Wilson. I didn't know you were here. You didn't make your presence known. So, fear wants to keep you comfortable. Fear wants to keep you as far away from risks as possible. And to be honest, to be quite honest, a life without risks, a life spent or lived in one comfort zone is the most boring life that anyone can live. Do you agree with me? It is okay if that is the life that you want to live, you want to be a follower, you want to be an OS member, you just want to flow with the tide, a soft life for you. Nobody should disturb me. I'm okay. I'm satisfied. I'm content. It is well with me. It is well with my soul. If you want to live a life that is very comfortable and easygoing and fine without risks, please make fear let fear be your everyday friend. Let it be your advisor. Okay? But if you're the person that wants to be a change agent, if you're someone that wants to live a full life, if you're someone that wants to look back and say that you actually lived, if you're someone that wants to look back when you're older and you can take a deep breath and said that was a life well lived, you cannot afford to play by your fears. You cannot afford to play by your fears of the unknown. You cannot afford to play by your fears of what will people say, your fears of, oh, I don't know what is coming, I don't know how to go about this, or your fear of what if I fail. You cannot afford to play by that rule. If you are someone that wants to make a mark, to leave a mark in the sense of time, risk has to be your best friend. Fear, on the other hand, I'm going to talk about it in a minute, has to be your best friend. You cannot not have fear motivate you. You cannot not take risks because everything is risky. Life is risky. You're going to die anyway. So why don't you make the most of the time that you have here? Right? Why don't you make the most of there's something that Lisa Nicole says that I really, really love. She says, from your day of birth and your day of death. When she said, oh, wait, okay, look at the way she says it. I want to make the most of my dash. Yeah. I want to make the most of my dash. And what does she mean by that? You know that dash that is written from 1922 to 1956, that dash in the middle that is written at the tomb of people, or when the person is dead, that life that's the way that the date from the day they were born to the day they died are written, that dash in between. She says, I want to make meaning of my dash. I want to live a meaningful dash. I don't want to have just a dash on my tomb. I don't want to live a life that is meaningless. I want to live a life that is full, a life that is fulfilling, a life that is complete, a life that is comprehensive. So if that is the life that you want to live, then you have to make fear your best friend. And how do I mean by that? I'm going to share a couple of things with you here that I had to quickly write down. You must make fear your friend in that fear shows you what is truly important to you. So if I ask you now, what is your greatest fear? What is your greatest fear? I'm not asking you to tell me. It's not for me to know. What is your greatest fear? Whatever it is that is your answer is what is most important to you. So if some persons might say, my greatest fear is not being in my son's life, or my greatest fear is dying poor. My greatest fear is not landing my dream job. My greatest fear is not being able to find love. My greatest fear is whatever. Whatsoever that is your response to that question, what is your greatest fear, is what is most important to you. It is something that you don't want to lose. It is something that you don't want to lose. Now, that fear of not wanting to lose that thing or that person is going to motivate you into putting effort to preserve that thing. I don't know if this makes sense to anybody. Because you're afraid of not being a very good parent, because you're afraid of losing something, you want to preserve it by all means. And whatever it's going to take you to preserve that thing, you are going to do it. It points you to what truly matters to you, to what is really important to you. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to live by that fear. It just means that you just have to put in more effort into that. You know, okay, this is what I really value. This is something that I really love. This is something I cannot afford to lose. So fear is your friend in that it points you to what truly matters to you. All right? And fear also is a pointer to where you need to grow. So like I said with pain, pain points you to what is wrong, what can be wrong. Fear also points you to where you need to grow. And this is very, very important. I wish many more people will be able to utilize this aspect of fear. If you are afraid of public speaking, it is a pointer that you need to grow as a public speaker. So one thing I've learned to do right now is to do what scares me. You know, that thing that I'm afraid of, I want to do it. That's environment I feel I shouldn't be in. I'm afraid of being in that circle. I'm afraid of being in. It means there's something that I lack. There's a qualification that I lack. Because when I feel that I don't deserve something or that I can't have something, I ask myself questions. Why do I feel like I don't need to have this? Why do I feel unqualified for this position? Now, what that does for me is I'm able to see what I need to do. I'm able to see the exact reason why I don't think like I deserve that thing. And if it is growth, majorly it's me, for me, it's growth. It means that there's something I'm lacking. There's a quality, there's a skill, there is a charisma that I need to have. There's a particular way I need to grow. There's some things I need to add to my arsenal. There's some weapons I need to add to my arsenal, or there's some skills I need to add to my skill set for me to qualify for certain opportunities. So if you're afraid of some things, it could be a pointer that you need to grow in that thing. So if you're afraid of public speaking, you're afraid of standing in public, why are you afraid of that? Why do you have fear for public speaking? Why? Did something happen in your past that is sponsoring that thought and that response? Mr. Lucky says, yes, fear triggers hunger for more and next level. Yes, if utilized well. So if you're afraid of public speaking, it means that you need to get better at that so that you're no longer afraid of public speaking anymore. And the more of the fearful things in your life or in your mind, the more of those fearful things that you do, the less fearful you are of them. Yes. But if you are sponsoring your fear, if you are feeding your fear, it becomes your enemy. It becomes your enemy. But if you use it as a motivation to get better, to grow, it is your friend. It is your friend indeed. Your fear also points motivates you to action. Fear motivates you to action. So there are several things that I'm afraid of, but because I'm afraid of it, I am pushed to do something about it. So if you are afraid of poverty, if you are afraid of poverty, um, a singer once said, "I'm allergic to poverty," and because he's allergic to poverty, he tries everything he can to stay away from poverty as much as he can. So if you're afraid of poverty, you are going to do anything to not be poor. It kind of ties back to the first thing that I said, that fear points you to what is most important to you. Whatever you're afraid of, you are motivated to do something either to justify that fear or to counter that fear. So if you're afraid of maybe something that is justifiable, all right, you might want to take actions to take it out of the way. Or if it's something that is good but you're afraid of it, you might want to take actions to acquire it. If you are afraid of being drunk, you don't want to drink. If you're afraid of messing yourself up, you don't want to be in environments where you have more chances of being messed up. If you're afraid of anything, actually, you are motivated either to sponsor that fear, to justify that fear, or to terminate that fear. But don't you ever deny your fear. Don't you ever deny your fear, because denial is what many people do, and it doesn't lead to any positive. It's not even it doesn't lead to any result at all, if anything. But you want to make progress in a positive direction, right? Brother Wilson says, "Who know they fear poverty? Not everyone, know. Not everyone. Some persons are okay being poor. Some persons are okay being poor. Like I've met people like that. They're very comfortable throwing pity parties. They're very comfortable being the ones that are giving money. Some people are very comfortable in poverty because it puts them at the mercy of others. It's crazy, right? But there are people like that. Those ones that will be like, I've not eaten today. Can you please help me tomorrow? I've not eaten today. But your sister is dying of hunger. Or your brother is dying of hunger. Or I beg, help us. They are so lazy that they are comfortable in what they are doing, in whatever situation that they are. They're not afraid of being poor. They are okay being poor because it makes them, it positions them for receiving pity and stipends from people, and they are very okay with that stipend that they're getting. So, my brother, just speak for yourself. I once said that even if you're selling long life and prosperity, there are some people who will never buy from you. Did they think, who told you that everybody wants to live long? So persons want to live for just today and die. So they don't care about your long life and your prosperity. Is it everybody that tells you that they want to be rich? Carry your prosperity, they go. So fear, this is my favorite part. Fear helps us to make memories. Fear helps us to make memories. It says God forbid. Oh. How does fear help you to make memories? So if you're afraid of something, especially an event or um, an activity that is not dangerous in itself, like that cannot lead to loss of life, and being fearful will propel you into wanting to explore it. Let me just see what this is all about. Especially if you're doing it with a loved one or someone that you care about, even if it's just you alone that are on that journey or on that exploration or on that adventure. Being able to explore your fears creates memories that nobody can take from you. You see, memories, they are what you take on with you to your old age. Memories. Like I said before, if you want to live a life that is boring and dull, live without risks, live without wanting to um, be disturbed. Live comfortably where you are. Follow the tide. Just be on your boat. The tide will take you wherever it wants, either to the north or to the south or to the east or to the west. Just do your job and remain on your boat. But if you are proactive in your life, you want to explore those fears, and those experiences, those memories are what you take on with you, because when you grow old you look back on them, and if you do it with someone that is dear to you, when you are older you can share these memories, you can relive those memories in your head, you can share stories, you can even tell your grandkids, because why not? We all want a friend that motivates us. We all want a friend that, even though it's uncomfortable, we want a friend that can tell us that something is wrong here. We want a friend that can point us to where we need to grow. We want a friend that propels us to make memories, and that is what fear does to you if you use it well. So I like to see fear as fire. Okay, fire is not bad. Fire is not good. You cannot come and classify fire and say, oh, fire is good or fire is bad. It depends on how it is used. It depends on the individual, depends on how it is used. So the same fire that can burn a house down is the same fire that can be used to warm your house on a cold day, on winter nights. The same fire that you will use to cook is the same fire that can destroy a whole building. So it all depends on you. It all depends on how you choose to channel your fears. It all depends on how you choose to make use of your fear, or on your reaction. So I was on a session with PK Olakule Shori. I don't know how many of you that know him here. And he said that he cannot afford not to take risks in his life. He cannot afford, like, that he's dead to life. The life he's living now is a life that when he gets old, if he gets old, he will be able to say, I lived well. And by that he means, if this course is worth it, if this course, by course I mean CAUSE, if this course is a worthy course and it involves some risks, I'm taking those risks. Yes, it might lead to loss of some things, it might not be good in some aspects, but if it's for a greater good, I'm going all out. And if I die along, if I die as I go on that course, as I pursue that course, then so be it. Because we are all going to die one way or the other. We're not going to come out of this alive. None of us. None of us. So you have to learn to let your fear be your field. So there's something that Lisa Nichols says a lot too. If you don't know by now, I'm a huge fan of Lisa Nichols. So there was something she said, that you don't have to be led by your emotions, but be led by logic. Don't be led by emotions, but be led by logic. That is where I'm going to end this conversation, so that you can ask questions. Okay, so start dropping your questions, all right, so that by the time I'm done, there are already ready questions for me to answer. So she said, many times when we make decisions based on our emotions, we end up apologizing and wishing we hadn't made that decision. But if our decisions are made based on logic and facts and knowledge and information, we would not have to apologize for making some those decisions. And she said, it's not like she is negating the place of passion, the place of emotions. No, she's not. She's only saying that before you take a decision, before you do something, let there be calculations. Let your decisions be based on the information that is at hand. So some of you are afraid of some things. You're afraid of launching a course. But what are the facts? You're afraid that nobody will buy. What are the facts on ground? Are you good at what you do? Do you have necessary skills to sell what you do? Do you have good communication skills? Are you able to sell? If you do, disregard that fear or let it be a fuel for you, but put your knowledge, what you are sure of, at the forefront. Because many times our emotions can be fickle. They can be. Our emotions are actually fickle. But when we make decisions based on the facts on ground, when you weigh your emotions, especially your fear, based on the facts that you have at hand, you see that I actually should go for this. Is the risk worth taking? Yes, I'm afraid that I'm going to be hurt again in this new relationship, but what are the odds that I will be happy in this relationship? This person has not given me any reason to doubt him. This person has been loving, this person has been caring. So, why am I afraid of getting into this relationship? Why am I afraid of committing again? Yeah, I might be hurt, but I have no reason to doubt that I'll have a beautiful relationship with this person. So let me take this risk. See, in this life, you have to learn to roll the dice because playing it safe is not safe on the long run. You're going to get old and you're going to regret your life. Oh, you're going to regret not doing so many things because you are afraid. But when you make fear your friend, you allow it to motivate you, you allow it to teach you where you need to grow, you allow it to point you to what is important to you, you allow it to push you into making memories, you allow it to push you into breaking new grounds, you allow it to build you because sometimes the courage that we need can only be forged in the face of fear. When you face your fears, you're able to build muscle to conquer it. But if you don't, if you keep running away from it, see, nobody has ever, well, let me not say nobody, but whoever runs away from, whoever runs away from a prey or a predator, yeah, whoever runs away from a predator is actually more at risk than the person who faces that predator. Yeah, you have to learn to face your fears. Running away from it or letting it to stop you from going for what you love, going for what you really desire, is not the way forward. Is not the way forward. Mr. Lucky says, for instance, your third dynamics, that is to say your family and loved ones because of your love for them, can drive you to be a success. I'm really trying to understand that, but I think I can I got a glimpse of that. Your love for your family, of course, can make you to um, aim for a higher expression or try to reach for your highest self and to reach your highest form of expression, right? Because you don't want them to suffer. You're afraid of your children growing up and there is no school fees, there is no funds to send them to school. You're afraid that your daughter might get into the wrong hands because there is no fund. And so you are pushed to start working harder. You are pushed to open savings accounts for them or insurance accounts for them, or maybe make investments that will be paying them so that by the time they get to some certain ages or a certain age, they will not have that fear that you had would have been dissipated because you had dealt with it while they were younger. Right. So um Lisa Nichols, I was going to say something that she said. She said, let your fears and your passions and your emotions be your fuel. Let them be the oil and the gas in your engine, but let logic be on the steering. Okay? Let logic be on the steering. So, whatever information you have and whatever fear that you have, you must be able to weigh them and know which one is worth doing, which one of them do you have to walk by. All right? There was a lady that says that she keeps that she loves fear, that fear is her best friend actually. So as she's driving, fear is on the passenger seat, that she never gives fear the steering, but fear is on the passenger seat. Yeah, because it protects you in a way and it pushes you. It protects you and it pushes you. So for some people, fear keeps them down, but that same fear that keeps some people down is actually what pushes some people to hit their targets, to hit their goals, to be better versions of themselves. All right, so if a mom is addicted to drugs and alcoholism and substance abuse, the fear of her child growing up without proper care and love will propel that mom to stop substance abuse because they want to be present, they want to be the best that they can be to their children, right? So fear is not altogether bad. It depends on your perspective, it depends on how you walk towards it, it depends on your reaction, and it depends on the situation too. Sometimes fear helps us to see what is outwardly dangerous. In that way, it protects us, but sometimes it's kind of just trying to keep us safe, from some unnecessary things, but we have to push further so that we can get over that phase and move on to the next level. Right, so Jose says this session was awesome. I loved it. My question is, does fear protect? For instance, the fear of being scammed online. So, yes, fear protects. When I started, I said that fear protects you from some things, especially when you've experienced them before. So, if you've been scammed online before, there's every chance that you will not want to be scammed again. You'll be afraid of anything scam. So I was in a conversation with someone today. He had been scammed of over 150 million online. And I was trying to tell him to consider affiliate marketing as a form of as a source of income because I know it actually pays and it works. And he said, nothing will ever make me to invest my money online again. Nothing on earth again. That was his fear, trying to protect him. But the truth is, he was also scammed with a real estate business. Real estate, which is physical. He even had to go to those places to verify, in quotes. He ended up still being duped over 400 million. But he says that he's not willing to go online and try another business model, but he was willing to try another business model offline. So his fear was trying to protect him from online scammers because he doesn't want him to have that experience again. But on the other hand, what are the odds? What are the odds? Is it every online business that is a scam? No, there are proven online business models that you can try out, right? That's why I said your fear doesn't have to lead you. Be led by logic, be led by the facts, be led by the information. Yes, many people have been scammed online, but that is because they bumped into fraudsters. Not everyone online is a fraudster. I am not a fraudster. I believe you watching me are not a fraudster. So, yeah, it still boils down to the facts and your perspective and what you want out of life, right? If you don't want much out of life, you can continue playing it safe. Those ones who are into forex trading and crypto trading, they lose a lot because it's a very volatile market structure, but they still gain a lot. They are willing to take the risk, they are willing to lose and gain sometimes. So I think it's something that you want to maybe take another look at and make your research, get the right knowledge, get the right information, and try again and again and maybe again. Mr. Lucky Nathan says there's a school of thought theologically that believes that why Job lost all his wealth was because he confessed negatively that what he has feared has befallen him. Please, can you elaborate more on that? So, that is my own personal ideology. I don't have a biggest fear. Yeah, I don't. Someone talked about this before and it clicked because majority of the people that I have known, that I know, who had biggest fears, if you ask them, hey, this is my biggest fear. Majority of them, they their fears always come to pass. What they are most afraid of always comes to pass. And it's not really like there is some sort of power behind it. It's more like if you're afraid of it, you don't want to walk towards it. That is why I said that fear can be your enemy and it can be your friend. If you are afraid of something, you want to proactively walk towards preventing it. Now, for Job, his was spiritual. It was, what I said, God or the devil tempting him, right? But he was very afraid of maybe losing his children, losing what he has, his children especially because um he was not afraid of losing his children. What he was afraid of the most was, in my opinion, his children being far away from God. That was why after each party, they Job would go and offer sin offering for his children's sake, right? So that in those days they will be in the right standing with God. But then everything just fell apart. So for some people, I'm afraid of marriage. I'm afraid of getting it wrong in marriage. Maybe that I heard who said that I heard who said that made mistakes in their marriages. Yeah, they married the wrong people. I wouldn't say nobody is wrong. It's just that their views and their values don't align because that person that you call wrong for you might be the best for someone else, right? But they made mistakes in their marriages. Yeah. So, in my opinion, I don't have a biggest fear. I don't even think of it. I just look at what I need. I just ask myself, what do I need the most? What do I need to work on the most? And I'm able to get my answer. But for some people, they need to ask themselves the question, what is my biggest fear? And you have to proactively work towards it, okay, to ensure that it doesn't repeat itself. All right, I hope that made sense. Okay, do I have any more questions? Brother Wilson says, no biggest fear, no limitation. Exactly. Exactly. So thank you very much for joining this conversation. I am done with what I planned to say. Let me check my notes and see if there's something else that I did not say because I don't want to leave you without all that I have prepared for you today. So I wrote something here that I said, fear is good when it keeps you from obvious harm, but it is your biggest enemy when it limits you from living your life to the fullest. Fear is your friend when it keeps you from obvious harm. We've already discussed that. But if it stops you from living life to the fullest, if it stops you from living your best life, fear of what people will say. If I go to this place now, people will now start talking. But this is what I want to do. And it's not sinful, it's not bad in itself. It's just that you're too worried about what people will say. You're not living your best life. You have to be authentic and real. All right? And yeah, yeah, yeah. There are two things that I needed to write, I needed to talk about that I just saw now. So your convictions and your convenience don't live on the same block. And this was what Lisa Nicole's grandmother told her. Your convictions and your convenience, they don't live on the same block. If you want to be comfortable, if you want to be convenient, fine, you can coexist, your convictions can coexist. But if your conviction is to live a larger than life, you cannot be convenient. You cannot be convenient because you continually look towards things that scare you. If your dreams don't scare you, if you're not afraid of your dreams, you have to go back to your drawing board and start. If you set goals, oh, that is achievable, and you set another one, oh, I can do this. And you set another one, okay, but we can do it. It's doable. If you have to keep setting goals to the point where you be like, huh, now how the heck am I going to solve this? How the heck am I going to get here? That is when you are talking. Now, when you get there, you can now start breaking it into smaller actionable points that you can take or you can hold on to and work on every single day, every single month, or every single week. All right. So your convictions and your fear and your convenience, they don't live on the same block. Neji Manuel says, "Oh, I'm late." Yeah, you are, but the replay is going to be up for you to watch. Okay. Joachim says, "Fear has its advantages and disadvantages." Exactly. Nothing is ever white or black. Yeah, nothing is ever just white or black. There's usually not one side to things. There are always two sides, and sometimes even different sides to things. So sometimes it's not just a coin, like you have two faces of a coin. Sometimes it's a triangle. Sometimes it's a hexagon. Sometimes it's a pentagon, right, with several sides. You just have to be willing to explore and be open to seeing more perspectives and newer perspectives that are different from yours so that you can know how to live and not live like an alien in a life that, or live like a stranger in your own story, live like a villain in your own story, right? So if you want to be the main author, this is your pen, and your life is your notebook. What are you writing? What are you writing? You're afraid of writing a risky or putting out a plot twist. So you are just writing safe. You are just writing the predictable stories and the predictable lines. You're going to live a very, very boring life. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is that many people are living life just for the sake of living life. If you are in this game of life, you want to play to win. But unfortunately, some persons are playing not to lose. Now, I would have loved to go fully into this because it's a whole lot. It's a very broad, this simple statement, stop playing to lose and start playing to win. I'm going to bring a guest on this show that is going to do justice to it. But some persons are just okay with not winning. They're okay being average. They're okay not achieving more. But that is not the life that you're called to. You're actually supposed to be winning in this life, in this game called life. But you are playing not to lose, you're not playing to win. And someone who is not playing to win cannot put in the same effort that someone who is playing not to lose cannot even put in the same effort that someone who is playing to win is putting in. So be willing to take risks. Someone who is playing to win is willing to take risks, is willing to really go for it, as opposed to someone who is playing not to lose. I just don't want to lose, but he doesn't mind. He doesn't care whether he wins or not. So your outlook or your destination can also, your proposed destination can determine your attitude towards life, right? So I don't want to assume that everyone here wants to win. Some of you here just don't want to lose. And it's normal, it's okay. I mean, not everybody wants to be disturbed in this life. But some people are like, this life, I can't kill myself. If that's you, it's fine, just live. But if you are the person I'm talking to who really wants more out of life, you cannot not take risks. You cannot not allow your fear to motivate you and to push you to be better than who you were yesterday, to be better than who you currently are. So there is this thing that I do. This is my future self, and this is who I was yesterday. And there is a timeline, there is a line here, there's a meter here. So every day I ask myself question, did I move forward from the person that I was yesterday? How am I getting close to the person that I want to be tomorrow, right? So it's not just about let me just be moving, let me just be just to live, yeah? It's just to exist, not exist. You cannot be my audience and you want to just exist. I'm not here to make you to just exist. We have to be proactive. We are change makers, we are generation turners, we are history makers, and so we have to live as such. You cannot afford to be playing safe. That is the truth. You cannot afford to be playing safe. This talk has become longer than I expected it to be, but I hope that you were able to get something from this conversation somehow. Somehow. So let me see what you're writing here. Mr. Christopher is asking how to overcome your fears by facing it. So you have to be honest to yourself that you have these fears, and then you face it. You face them. You face them head on. If you keep running away from it, it will keep chasing you. It will keep haunting you until you say, I'm done. I'm done living this life. I'm done being in the shadows. I'm done. What is the worst that can happen? If I perish, I perish. That is the spirit. You go for it. You go for your fears. I wish I knew in the context you mean your fears. Whatever fear it is that you have, the best way to overcome it is to face it head on. And majority of the time, so that you're actually running away from nothing. Because some persons would say that fear is false evidence appearing real, right? It's just an illusion sometimes. It's an illusion. So you want to weigh your fears on the scale of logic and information and facts, right? And see if it even holds water. And if it does, if there are some evidences that you're actually fearful and these fears can be justified, then you ask yourself questions. How do I face this fear? What do I need to do to be able to get over this fear? Because every fear is unique in its own and might need unique approach. So you have to ask yourself, whatever fear it is that you have, how do I face you? What do I need to do to overcome you? If it's something that you're running away from doing, that you're afraid of doing, you have to push yourself to actually do it. And when you do it, you say that there's nothing in it. When you do it, maybe 2 or 3 times, you say that there's nothing in it. So I'm afraid of, let me not say that much afraid of water, but I'm learning to swim now. I'm learning. And believe me, it's nothing. The fear that I had is looking so small. Like I'm asking myself, why was I even afraid of this in the first place? So the more you do something, the less fearful you are of it, and the more confident you are. So let your fear help you to grow. Let it motivate you into taking actions. Okay. And Jelona says playing to win and playing not to lose are two different things. Very, very different. Like very, 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 very different. Stop being okay as a mediocre, average, or barely above average. Be willing to take risks. Yeah. Neji. Neji. Emmanuel says, allow me to flex. Yeah, so that's how some people are. Brother Wilson says a good way to start the month. Yes, yes. Neji, Neji. I hope that's the pronunciation. Neji Mono says, how do I discover my fears? Because sometimes I wonder, how do you discover your fears? If you're afraid of something, you know that you're afraid of it. But sometimes one of the ways to know that this could be a fear is you not wanting to do that thing. You giving excuses when it's time to do that thing. And you feel that you have reasons to do it. But one of the things that's going to help you is to ask yourself why every single time. That word, WHY. You have to ask yourself every single time, why is this my choice? "Oh, I don't like to go there. Why do you not like to go there? I don't like swimming. Why do you not like swimming? Could it be a fear that you have not acknowledged? Oh, I don't like the color white. Why don't you like the color white? Did something happen in your past that made you, that was traumatic, that made you to have kind of disdain for that color? Learn to ask yourself questions. That question, why? Why? And the more you ask yourself why, the less questions, the less answers you have. And the lesser answers you have, the closer you are to unlocking and unveiling the actual truth and the reason behind that very shallow reason you're giving up there. Hmm? That is therapy. That is therapy. All right. Brother Wilson says, chase your fears, may your fears not chase you. Exactly. Exactly. Like Nathan says, take the bull by the horn. Yes. Yes. Rosetta says, the ability to face and overcome your fear is within you. You just need to discover it. That's right. But the reason I have fear for swimming. Are you serious? It's nothing. There's nothing there. There's nothing. You just put your leg in water. Eh? Just just put one toe in water. Bring it out. Next time, put your whole feet. Next time, put your leg. Next time. And before you know, say that I was afraid of this thing, but why was I even afraid of it? I mean, I must have been foolish to even be afraid of this. There's nothing in those fears, actually. Many of the times, they are just false illusions. Neji Manuel says, I'm satisfied, ma'am. I'm glad you are. Thank you for being here. Favour Fiang says, as pertaining to swimming pool, I'm good at it, but with river swimming, it's a no option. That one is bigger than the fear here. No, that swimming pool, anyone can swim in the swimming pool because it's controlled. Yeah, we are okay with playing small, but when we are faced with a bigger ocean, if you're a fish and you're put in a bigger ocean, instead of seeing it as a bigger environment to even explore and a wider reach for you, you start being afraid because you're already used to playing it small. That is a fear, my dear. Mm. So don't be afraid of that. Explore, explore. Try to play safe, right? Try to swim within the boundaries that are seen as safe and generally accepted as safe. But don't be afraid to swim in rivers, okay? The moment I'm done learning to swim in the pool, forget it. I'm going head over heels with swimming in rivers, right? I mean, you don't have to because the goal for me, swimming is a survival skill for me, and I'm learning it so that in case of any one, because it's a good exercise, yeah, aerobic, it's a good exercise, but just in case there is a flood in somewhere, so I can swim to safety. So if you don't want to go for the river, it's fine. You're not an acrobatic. You're not an Olympic. Yeah. Nejimano says, now I know why you handed me a Coke in the dream. You just handed me an essential value. I'm grateful. Okay, I'm glad I handed you something in the dream, but Chinaza wouldn't hand you a Coke because I don't take Coke and I don't advise people to take Coke. That's soda, that's sugar. It's killing. But well, I think it's paradoxical. Yeah. Some of your says as pertaining swimming pool, I'm good at it, but swimming in the river is beyond this fear. I get you. I get you. All right, guys. We already spent 1 hour 20 minutes. It's funny how time goes here whenever we're on this conversation. I don't even remember that time is going. I don't even feel like time is going. Like I can still talk here for the next 4 hours and I don't feel it. And you guys just keep on being very active here. Thank you very much for this interactive session. If you liked this conversation, please like the video, drop your comments. You know, when you like it, YouTube algorithm brings it up for other people who ordinarily wouldn't have heard about Chinaza Favour or this conversation to see it and watch and learn and glean lessons from it. All right. So please help me to reach more people by liking the post, maybe dropping your comments, not just in the live chats, but in the main chat as well when the video has ended. It helps, right? And don't forget to subscribe. Okay, we are 1,600 subscribers strong. Yes, 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 yes. So I just want to say thank you very much for being here every single Thursday. Next Thursday, we are definitely having a guest. We are definitely having a guest, and I'm not going to tell you who it is and what topic we'll be discussing, but believe me, it's going to be value. You know, last time we had feast tipping, and it was amazing. We discussed the power of relationships. If you've not watched that video, go and watch it. The last two videos, yes. Yes, from today, the previous video, the second video after last week's video. That's the video. If you've not watched it, go and watch it. You're going to be mind blown. Mind blown. Mr. Lucky Nathan, I love you too. Thank you everyone for joining here and have a very wonderful night rest. And just before I log out, September, I know everyone is aspiring to perspire this day, you know, because it's a new month, so everyone wants to be as motivational as possible. But if there's anything I can tell you about September or about this new month is don't go and set goals for yourself that you know that you cannot achieve. Now, your vision is different, but your goals have to be actionable. They have to be things that you can implement. Okay? Let the vision be big. Let the bigger picture be big. But let what you do every day be clear so that you don't miss steps, so that you don't feel like you're not doing anything at all. Okay? Um, do something that you know that you'll be consistent in for a long period of time. I learned this and it has been helping me. We set big goals and we're wondering how the hell do we even get here? You want to lose weight and someone tells you that they spend 5 hours in the gym. They don't eat carbs, they cut down on carbs, they eat veggies, um, they don't eat after 4 p.m., even after 3 p.m. And you're trying to copy that. You look at yourself, you know that you don't even have the willpower to keep this for even 1 week, but you are choosing to put that into your routine. It's not going to work. You're not going to do that for a long period of time, and you're not going to lose weight if you're not consistent. So, what can you do to adjust to hit your target over a long period of time that you can consistently do? Is it going to the gym maybe for 30 minutes every day? Then let it be it. Do it consistently. Let it be something that you can consistently do. That is what provides the results. Okay, don't go and hang your goals in a place where your hand cannot reach. Okay, it is the consistency that yields the results, not just what you do one day or 1 week. All right, I love you and I really wish you the very best of September and the rest of 2022. Have a wonderful night rest, and I'll see you next Thursday, same time, same station. Thank you for being on Honest Conversations with Chinaza Favour. Bye.